Hello, I'm Kevin Wells from Cheese Making Games, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Galaxy Chomp. At its core, Galaxy Chomp is a roguelike, and that means that it's got a pretty high difficulty level. It's got a randomly generated galaxy every game. The items and other spatial features in the game are going to be randomized to a pretty large extent, so you never know what, say, a red weapon is. This game, maybe it's a beam weapon, but next game it's a missile launcher. And when you die, you're dead. It's permanent death. So the game ends, game over, when you die, so don't die. The last computer game we released was at the beginning of last year in January, and it was called Hubert's Island Adventure Mouse of War. It was a 2D platformer in an engine that I coded myself in C++. Over the months after that, I continued to work on that engine and that game, and release updates, patches, you know. Anyway, I eventually decided that it would be fun to keep working on that engine. Really, the idea was so that making future games would be a lot easier. Later on last year, we worked on an Android game that was called BitBeast, so that took up quite a bit of our time. But after that, I continued working on my game engine idea, and that kept expanding, and eventually I succeeded, and I had a full engine. Now, since then, I've still been adding features, and I was actually working on a different game project, but it was much larger in scope, and I decided to pull it back and make something a bit smaller that I could actually pull off in a reasonable amount of time. So, I've switched over to that. It eventually became known as Galaxy Chomp. It actually started in January of this year. It's pretty recent, really, and it was a sick project, is what I'd call it. I was sick with a pretty bad cold, and I just laid around and programmed on my laptop all day, and that's pretty much what I did. It was fun, and Galaxy Chomp was born out of that. To complete the game, we're going to need funds to cover things like salary and development costs and, you know, other important stuff. That's mostly it. There's a complete itemization of our budget down in the project description, so definitely check that out. So that brings us to now. We need funds. We've set up a Kickstarter. You've got funds. Let's do this thing. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and let's make this thing happen.